Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here today on Senate Bill 24. I have one amendment that's been prepared by Mr. Benton. I'd like to present that to the committee at this time. While that is being circulated, this amendment simply fixes the effective date of this bill. If you turn to page 2, line 8, the effective date, if it passes, would be January 1st, 2016. That is being changed to July the 1st of 2017 after discussion with the chairman. I'd ask that that be.
I will propose that amendment on your behalf. It's Amendment 412, and I'll move adoption of that amendment to put the bill in the posture you would like.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any objection to the adoption of the amendment, Amendment 412? Hearing none, the amendment's adopted. Go ahead, Mr. Gatti.
I'll be brief. Currently, as the law stands, when a landowner or mineral owner receives a royalty payment or a bonus payment dealing with their mineral rights, they report that income on Schedule E of their 1040. Then when they go to file their state income taxes, their adjusted gross income is then translated to Form 540 on their individual return. The amount of bonus or royalty interest is included in their adjusted gross income for tax purposes under our schedule that determines the percentage of income tax. So it's a flow-through provision like most other forms of income. This bill would change the law, and it would allow the adjusted gross income to still flow through to the state Form 540, but it would receive a 0% tax. Now, the reason this is being requested is because during this session we've asked our local constituents to shoulder quite a burden in helping us get out of this financial rut. And as many of you know, we've received many emails in support of a sales tax and any other of those taxes from both local communities and constituents and members of the business community. However, there have been no provisions to lower the tax burden that many of those people in our communities are going to struggle with. I asked for a fiscal note on this bill. Of course, it shows that it would reduce the income of the state during those times. That is why I added the amendment to push this effective date until July.
Right, which, just for your information, you probably will still be looking at a dual referral to finance, but it certainly, you've got a much better argument to try and analyze those taxes and get a better note. So
exactly. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Carter.
Would you be amenable to going there first?
Well, whenever a bill comes before us, and the order is they come here first, and then if they leave us, then they go to finance. If the note is over $100,000, it is very likely the fiscal office, they might not have a note, will say this is over $100,000, so then he'll have to go to finance separately before he can go to the floor.
I see we have the Secretary of Revenue here. Maybe she can.
I don't think she'll be able to flat foot you a number right now. I mean, you could ask her to, but she's not no back there. Okay. I mean, I don't.
And I'll give you a little input on that. You know, our state personal income tax forms do not have a line where we would say, this is my mineral income. This is what I've gotten from royalties. This is what I've gotten in a bonus. It's just a whole flow-through number from the 1040 as adjusted gross income. If this passed, there would be a line where you could carry over your Schedule E to a schedule or a line on your 540.
Yeah, and very respectfully, Senator Gatti, my concern is it's kind of going in the other direction of where we're trying to go right now, when we're all desperately trying to find ways to increase revenues for the state and avoid drastic cuts to many of the individuals and organizations that have been before us. So the timing is just a little difficult.
I understand. I appreciate that. And once again, this is a bill that would fall under item 3 in the call that would allow us to look at income tax rates and determine if we can adjust those in any way.
And it probably, and I applaud the reform nature of this, and it probably should be a part of a larger picture of how we reform and look at all of these things that have issues. I think individually sitting on its own prevents a little bit more of an issue for us, as opposed to making a more global discussion in tax reform across the board, for which many of us have spoken very strongly about.
Yeah, and I agree, as Senator Peterson pointed out earlier, we have to take some of these opportunities to wipe out the corporate tax burden and the individual tax burden for our taxpayers, and I could see this bill being a bigger picture bill of that. That is why we have the date of July 1st of 2017, because it allows us time, probably not enough time, but allows us some time to
My suspicion is that at July 1st, 2017, we will be still searching for revenue.
I agree. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
Mr. Gatti, I think you might want to consider letting this bill bake a little longer, and you might want to consider possibly bringing this at a later date, if
Okay.
you get my drift.
I thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Gatti.
Yes, sir. Thank you very
Mr.
much.
Gatti voluntarily defers SB 24.